Well, we're joined today by Club President Wael Al Qadi. Welcome, Wael, to the MEM to celebrate really and talk about your first anniversary in charge. Does it seem that long?
It's flown by. It just feels like yesterday's. A year just went by very quickly. It was eventful. Got a promotion, and here we are fighting for a playoff place. It's great.
Well, it's a year ago since you came into the club. Can you remember that first day when you were faced by the press and more press than we've seen here for a long time, waiting to interview you as you came in the room?
Yeah, I do remember it, of course. The deal, finally, the transaction happened very late the night before, and the next day we came down and just walked into that room full of reporters, and we just had to face the reporters. Who are you? Where do you come from? All those questions. It was quite an eventful day.
Step into the unknown, I guess, for you. But then the following day was even better, wasn't it? You had your family here.
Yes.
First home game against Morecambe.
First home game, and I remember feeling like, I wish we'd win because, start off on the right foot. We were 1-0 down at half-time, got introduced to the crowd on the pitch at half-time. And the second half, we scored twice and won the game 2-1. I was very relieved because it was our first game and it's important to get off on a winning start.
I think that day you probably endeared yourself to Bristol Rovers supporters, and did you feel a rapport with them immediately?
Well, to be honest, I was overwhelmed and really pleasantly surprised by the welcome we had. Really, everybody made us feel really welcome here, and from day one, it felt as if I was coming home.
Coming home?
Yeah, that's how it felt like.
And how about your family? Because I think you had your wife and all your children here.
Yeah, my wife and children, and my brother and his wife and kids. So we felt really, really welcome.
And your family backed you all the way on this, haven't they? In terms of your involvement with the football club? Yes,
at the beginning when the idea came about, and it was pretty tough, but in the end, and especially now, they're fully behind everything. So,
Rovers went on to win promotion, of course, and were you expecting that from day one, or did promotion come as a surprise?
Well, we were near mid-table by the time we took over, and maybe the playoffs were in sight, but to get automatic promotion and the way it happened was, and I didn't really expect that.
and once again, that final day is something you'll remember all your life, I guess.
I'm sure a lot of us will remember for the rest of our lives. It was just incredible.
And again, you were with the fans celebrating a really momentous occasion.
Yeah, the way things turned out in the end, I'm sure anybody would have wanted to celebrate as the best they can. So.
Did that in any way change your plans for the summer because we'd gone up perhaps sooner than expected?
Well, yes. Because we got promoted into League One. Most of the squad were retained, and of course, we had that Leeds inquiry with Darryl. So there was a lot of planning going on.
The fact that Darryl might have gone and he didn't, that presumably was a relief to you that he stayed with Bristol Rovers.
And I guess to a lot of people, of course, it was paramount that he remained with us.
And he's very much a manager you admire, isn't he? From what I've seen.
Yeah, from day one, the chemistry is there. I really admire him. The way he goes around managing the squad and the team. He has a fantastic winning mentality. He creates the right spirit and atmosphere in the dressing room. Develops players the right way, and we're here to support him.
I think he respects the fact that you don't interfere with him, and I guess there's a tendency at some clubs for chairman, presidents or whatever to interfere with team selection and with purchases, but you stand back, don't you?
Well, that's crazy to do. I mean, I'm absolutely, it's the manager. He's there, and it's his team, his decisions, and we support him in whatever he does. To interfere is, it's totally wrong. That's the way I feel and think.
Moving on to we got the summer out of the way. Not too many players came in during the summer because, as you say, most were retained. But how do you evaluate the season so far in League One?
I mean, when we were in League Two and we got promotion, I was saying that the squad that we have, the boys that are in the team, they have the potential to go places, and I still believe that they're improving all the time and developing, and may it long continue.
One of the highlights for you, I'm guessing, was the League Cup or English Football League Cup at Chelsea. What sort of occasion was that for you?
Again, surreal. It was one of the highlights again of the year, just being drawn away to Chelsea and going up there and giving them a fantastic game. It was really great.
Yeah, it's certainly a great occasion for supporters, wasn't it? And
absolutely.
Very much supporters behind you, behind the club, and appreciate.
It was great to see many, friendly faces there. We took 4,000, could have taken much more. It was a great day out, and the team did us proud.
I've got to ask you this. What have you learned about the running of a football club? Because you hadn't had that experience before you came in. What has anything surprised you?
I learned that it's not only about the first team. I mean, it's a football club, and there's a lot going on behind the scenes that, as a fan, you wouldn't appreciate. There's fantastic people working behind the scenes, working very hard all week long, all year round, around the games. And it's really a huge, fantastic team effort by everybody at the club. And there's just so much effort going into this.
And yourself, how many games do you reckon to see over the course of a season? Because you're not actually based in the UK all the time.
No, I'm not based in the UK, but I watch every game, and I try to be live at as many games as I can. So, I target to come over maybe once a month and watch 3 games if there's a midweek game in between.
And you still keep in touch with supporters, don't you? I know supporters message you, and you're very actively involved and engaged with them.
Yes, of course. I mean, I'm a fan like they are, and we just talk about football and games and all that. It's important.
Just looking at, we've got acquired a training ground in the last couple of weeks. I mean, that is a really big step forward for this football club, and a lot of work went in behind the scenes trying to get that, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's been going on for 8 to 9 months, I think, and like I said, from day one, it's essential that the club does have, the heart and soul, which is a training ground where all the club all the players, the academy, all the certain teams that we have can be gathered in one place and basically develop and produce talent who eventually would rise up and play in the first team. So it was just something very important and vital for the club. And I'm really glad that it's been purchased now, and we can look forward to all contribute in building a very good complex for the first team and the other teams to train on.
Yeah, the hard work begins now, doesn't it? I mean,
absolutely.
Any timescale, do you think?
Well, I mean, the plan is for everybody concerned to discuss and see where we want to go with this, what we want from it, what we need to develop. So as soon as that's agreed upon, it will take time to develop.
Great opportunity though for the academy to develop alongside the first team, isn't it? And for the first team manager to have a look at the youngsters coming through, which is not really possible too often at the moment.
No, it's like I said, it's important and something vital for us to do, and hopefully, we will see the results of this in the future.
First step, I'm guessing, in a lot of things that are going to happen in the future, and the question on everyone's lips is the ground, the new stadium.
Yeah.
Are you able to say anything about that at all? We've heard some positive comments.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're young enough to have been at Eastville, correct? And
Old enough, I
Twerton
think.
and the Mem. So I really, I get it. I understand. There's a lot of fans like you who want this stadium issue settled, and it's absolutely vital and important for this club to have a new modern stadium. And as you all know, that we are in negotiations with UWE. It has taken time, but it's a big project, and we are moving in the right direction. It's just, frustrating that there's no news coming out now. However, we are in talks with them, and that's where we're at.
Should the worst come to the worst and it not go through, is there a plan B?
Like I said, I mean, we do need a new stadium. So if this falls through, we will look at other options for sure.
Okay, so just look between now and the end of the season. What are your hopes for Bristol Rovers?
Well, I mean, we all have this winning mentality here. So we go into every game to try and win it. The playoffs are, 3 points away, and we'll try and do our best to get there.
One thing that sticks in my mind when we spoke to you last year was you came back to this evolution, not revolution, and that has been the case, hasn't it? I think everyone would say you've stuck to your guns on that one throughout the year. Do you feel that?
Well, I mean, when we first came in and we looked at the footballing aspects, we have a great manager and great staff around him, fantastic potential with the players there. We looked at the certain areas around the squad and strengthened that. We strengthened the academy. We brought in new staff, new scouts. We created the development squad under 23 team, which was never there before. We brought in specialized coaches to take care of these the development squad. So there's been a lot of work that has gone around the squad and to support the squad. We've got a good medical department now, sports scientists. We got a lot of equipment that will support and help improve the whole team. So that was very important, and I think we've achieved that. And there are still other areas which we're trying to slowly build and improve, other areas that didn't exist before.
Well, I guess as the club grows, so the need will be there for more staff and more specialists and experienced staff.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of work that will go on behind the scenes to improve everything around the club. So, yes, it is evolution rather than revolution. So.
I think people admire you for sticking to that and for saying it right from the outset, because I think a lot of people thought you would come in, there would be money thrown at this, thrown at that, but it has been a gradual process, hasn't it?
It has been a gradual
even
process.
though so much has happened.
No, and I'm a firm believer that, to sustain a club for the longest time, you have to do this. And it's not only me who believes this, it's Daryl also believes in this, and the whole administration and people that are in the club actually believe in this.
When you go around watching Rovers at other grounds, do you have a look behind the scenes and see what they're doing that maybe we aren't, or we're doing something they're not? Do you talk to fellow chairmen, fellow club representatives?
Yes, I mean, when we go to other stadiums, and I try and see what they're trying to do there, and of course take anything that we can adapt to ourselves and improve ourselves. So yes.
I'm going to ask you this: have you any regrets about taking over a football club and taking over Bristol Rovers in particular?
Regrets, no regrets, none whatsoever.
Even though it's been a bit of a rocky journey.
Regrets that I didn't do this earlier.
So, and as you said last year, you're here for the long haul.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no question about that.